For our next guest now, creativity isn't just for artists or kids. It's a beneficial skill for people of all ages at work and in life. Research shows engaging in creativity boosts our immune system and lifts our mood. And a recent study by Adobe found that people who think of themselves as creative enjoy 17% more household income than those who don't. So as the world turns upside down in response to COVID-19, here are some fun, creative ideas.
Mykel Dixon joins us right now. Good morning, Mykel.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Yeah, we're doing well.
Mykel, we need some light because it's been a bit of doom and gloom, as we know. Look, sometimes people think that they're just not a creative person, that some people are, that some people aren't. But can anyone actually tap into their sort of creative zone?
100%. Science keeps telling us time and time again that every single one of us is born with roughly the same creative capacity. There was a very fascinating study done back in the late 60s, where they found 98% of 5-year-olds had the same creative capacity as the astrophysicists and creative geniuses that got us to the moon, with that first NASA's first moon launch, which is pretty astonishing. And as time goes on, we go through school, we get a job, a university, the world digs its teeth into us. By the time we're 30, around 2% of us remain creative. So it's not our biological design. It's actually the influence of the world around us starts to make us into this little box, and then we end up going, I'm not creative, I never was. I haven't got a creative bone in my body.
Now, you've got some creative tips for us. Tip one being, let's talk about consuming content and how can we consume different types of content. Interestingly enough, just a point that you made there was, some people saying to themselves that they're not creative. How do people step outside of that box?
A lot of people talk about we're in a creative crisis. We have a creativity crisis around the world. We don't. We have an identity crisis. It's our relationship with ourselves and the way we see our own creative capacity that's actually in the way. And going back to the way that we curate content and how we can bring more creativity into our lives, we underestimate how much our experience in the 21st century is governed by algorithms. So you click on 2 or 3 things and then you're going to get those similar patterns all the time. You click on one, gym app on Instagram or ad, and then suddenly everything you see on every platform is just ads for lose weight, go to the gym. So we need to be conscious of that and architect our own experience, both online and offline, to try to have as many diverse experiences as we can, or diverse influences, so that we're not just stuck in this one train of thought or this one pattern or this one life.
Now, sometimes it's the simplest things, I guess, that can help us actually tap into this type of creative way of thinking. And tip number 2 that you've got for us is walking. So how can walking actually help with creativity?
So again, studies have shown this time and time again. There's been a lot of the most brilliant minds we've had throughout human history have all raved about just getting out of what they're working on, taking a walk around the block or taking a 3-hour stroll around the countryside. There's something that happens to our body and our brain, not just the oxygen, but you're being surrounded by new influences. You're lifting yourself up out of what you're working on to just let the world go to work on you. It's such an important thing. And even now, grab that mask. If you're in Melbourne, you whack it on and just do what you can to get up and out of the box.
Yep.
That's
Absolutely.
right.
And the other tip that you have, which is tip 3, is see between the scenes. Now, what does that mean exactly?
It's looking behind or before or between the context of things. So if we're thinking, if we take everything at face value, we're going to get a certain kind of life, we're going to have a certain kind of inspiration or ideas. But if we just wait, if we pause a little bit and look around the edges, if we think, what are they really trying to say there? What is this? You can even do that when you're watching Netflix. There's some great shows on right now where you can just be absorbed in the action or the romance. But if you look a little bit deeper and think a little bit longer, even do some research online, what did they really mean? I'm into Killing Eve right now. I don't know if you guys have seen that show. My God, what is this love story? Are they in love? Is it a fascination? But there's so much hidden in the subtext. And if we sink into that and allow ourselves to sit longer in the inquiry, longer in the question, we're going to arrive somewhere a lot more creative.
Now, this is a good one that we're interested in because, some creative ways of thinking can help us earn money. Pay to learn and then get paid to teach. Tell us a little bit more about this.
Again, online, virtually, I think a lot of people, we tend to think that we need to do a PhD before we have anything of worth to give someone else. You know, I couldn't possibly teach anyone anything. I'm not like them. I'm not like them. But a lot of the time, some of the best teachers, or what people are willing to pay for, is if you're just 2 or 3 steps ahead of someone. If you've built your own, fertilized worm farm in the garden, man, I'll give you $100. Come and teach me how to do it. You know, it doesn't have to be this big, cumbersome thing. It can be really small little things in life that you've got good at that other people would be willing to pay for, because you're helping them move towards their goals faster.
You know, this is one of my favorites because I do this all the time, but you've classified Pump Up the Tunes. How can music help us?
That's my background. So my background is the arts entertainment. I was a jazz musician for many years, and that I use that in the work that I do now with leadership teams and organizations. Music is everything. If I get a little spiritual, it's Monday morning at 8:22 a.m. Why not go there? You think about the whole universe, we are nothing but a frequency. It's what the universe is made of. And so if you think about the power of music altering your mood, the power of how music can instantly affect you. What is a film without music? What is a gym session without those tunes pumping in your earphones? What is a candlelit dinner without some subtle tunes happening in the background? It's everything. And if you're stuck in a rut, or if you're wanting to alter the atmosphere of a dinner party or a business, an offering with a client, you're in a relationship with someone, bring some music to the table, and it can immediately alter the experience that you're having, that the people around you are having, make your life better, get more music into your life. And even now, I'll add, guys, there's a lot of musicians, a lot of my friends that are unable to play, and they're at home, and they would be dying to do a gig, whether it's virtually through a Zoom call or just to hang out and teach someone a few scales on the guitar. So let's put those musicians back to work and get them more involved in our lives.
Can they play Kylie's new album, the acoustic version?
Oh my God.
Sometimes that's not really going to help, is it?
They've been waiting for someone to ask them that question, and now they're ready to go.
Hey, and our final one now, us working in the brekkie, TV hours, we're well aware of this.
I know what's coming.
Yeah. Sleeping can be your best friend for creativity.
Of which I got very little last night.
You look fabulous for someone who's had little sleep, that's for sure.
Stop it, you flirt. No, honestly, it's sleep. You regenerate the same way your body does, your muscles do. You talk to a gym junkie, you talk to a personal trainer, and they'll say it's the rest days that are just as important as the days that you train. It's the same with sleep. You can't be up for 20 hours a day, back to back, trying to create, trying to bring new things of value to the world. You need to step away from it. And the beauty of doing that is when you step away, and particularly in sleep, you give your subconscious time to go to work. And that's when the most outrageous, most original, most awesome creative ideas come to you, is when your conscious you has very little to do with it. It's all the back of your brain going to work, mixing things, matching things, smushing them together, coming up with something original. It's let your subconscious go to work, and the best way to do that is take a nap, go to bed early, peppermint tea, turn off Killing Eve. I know you're into season 3 now, but just give it a breather.
Well, season 3 is a little bit better than season 2, but away from Sandra Oh and how amazing she is, and that show. Oh. Good question to ask you is, and this affects me when it comes to my creativity, is like, sometimes if I miss a bit of sleep, I then worry about how do I pay that sleep debt back, or I start to feel like maybe somehow I've had the wool pulled from underneath me because I'm not following a routine. What's the best way to get back on track when you have that feeling that, the wool's been pulled from underneath you?
Got it. Just take some time out. Honestly, and listen to music, reconnect with what makes you come alive. I think we always feel like we're on the clock. We always feel like we've got more to do. We always feel like that we're never doing enough. We're drowning in productivity. We've got to be efficient. We've got to be productive. We've got to keep on bringing things to the world. But when you do feel behind the 8 ball, you got to stop. Go and call a friend, just relax, go for a surf, listen to some tunes, read some fiction. It's...
Hey, Mykel, because
yes.
You keep pumping up the sort of idea around music, it'd be remiss of me to not notice those pianos in behind you. We have
this
to
is
go
true.
to a
You want me to
break
play
now.
something?
Can
Yeah.
you play us into the break?
Yeah, why not?
This is
Sure.
Give us
For
a,
you-
this is a ticker first. Look at this. This is amazing.
Anything. I'm not sure if the mic will catch it, but
Oh, yeah. Can you feel the creative juices flowing?
Somebody bring me a cocktail. I feel like I'm in a bar.
It's too early for a cocktail, McLean.
That is amazing. Mykel Dixon bringing all the tunes. You're on Ticker Jumpstart. Stay with us.